Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to warm up and prepare your body for overhead squats and snatch day.
Get up and get down, get up and get
Hey guys, thanks so much for stopping by the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to warm up and prepare your body for doing overhead squats and snatches. Now first let's talk about what are the mobility demands of the positions we're trying to get into. We need to have a sufficient amount of the thoracic spine extension mobility, and we also need a good amount of lat flexibility. Now why is thoracic spine mobility so important? Well, it sets your foundation for everything to move on top of. If we look at our skeleton here from 3B Scientific, your thoracic spine is your mid-back. It starts up here and runs down here. Now, inherently, this part of your spine gets stiff. It's prone to stiffness. And it has to be a little stiff because your ribs connect to it, and your ribs obviously encapsulate and keep safe all your vital organs. However, if it becomes too stiff, it won't allow your body to get your arms overhead. Here's why. Whenever you raise your arms overhead, your shoulder blade, your scapula, moves on top of your rib cage right here. What happens is that if you don't have enough stability or enough mobility in your mid-back, it limits how well your shoulder blade upwardly rotates right here. So if you're too stiff, it's going to stay right here and it's going to lead to impingement of your shoulders. You're basically going to get stuck right here. Here's a very easy example for how you can understand this concept at home. I want you to stand with a little bit of a slouched posture. Round your back with a little kyphotic rounded upper back. Try to raise your arms as high as you can overhead. You obviously can't raise them very high compared to if you extend your back and now raise them up. So the same applies, or that concept applies to the thoracic spine and how mobility, especially extension mobility, allows ourselves to move our arms into a more optimal position. Now here's how you can improve that mobility. All you're gonna do is grab a foam roller, and we're gonna come back over to the platform. We're gonna perform what's called a prayer stretch. Now it's similar to child's pose found in yoga. You're going to kneel down on the ground, get your hands on top of the foam roller. I like thumbs up. And from here, you're just gonna sit back, drop your chest, and allow your mid-back to just relax all the way down to the ground, just like this. And when you're in that bottom position, I want you to take a couple deep breaths in and out. Just let your mid-back sink as far to the ground as possible. Something like this, maybe 3 to 5 reps of a couple deep breaths in and out, and that's going to improve your thoracic spine extension. Now, let's talk about the other area that we need to be very flexible, which is your lats. Now, your lats are that big V-shaped muscle that you see run all the way up here on a lot of well-defined, especially powerlifters or especially bodybuilders. Now the lats internally rotate and extend the arm. So if you're doing a lot of pulling, so all my weightlifters, crossfitters, powerlifters, strongmen, if you're doing a lot of deadlifts, a lot of pulls, and not a lot of overhead work, those lats can become very inflexible, and that's going to limit your ability to get your arm overhead. Now, here's a very simple test you can do at home to see if you have stiffness in those lats. You're gonna sit down by a wall, and you're gonna have your arms to start straight out in front, palms down. You're gonna raise them as high as you can, and then externally rotate, so palms up. By externally rotating, we place a little stretch on the lat, and then raise your arms as high as you can. You can see right now, I can't get very high, showing that comparatively, I have limited lat flexibility to be able to get my arms overhead, and that's going to affect my ability whenever I'm doing a overhead squat. Now, here's what you're gonna do to improve your lat flexibility. We're going to do an eccentric lat or an eccentric curl up. Now, a lot of times whenever we think lat flexibility, we do soft tissue work with maybe, hey guys, look who just showed up. All right, quick second, let's finish this video. When we think lat flexibility, we often think soft tissue work to the lats, we often think stretching. But what we often don't think about is doing some eccentric lengthening. And when you take a muscle and you eccentrically lengthen it under load, it can improve flexibility and actually keep that flexibility a little bit longer than just some soft tissue work. So what you're gonna do is grab onto a pull-up bar like this. You're gonna go up to the top and then slowly lower down for 5 seconds. So I'm gonna be here, come up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're just gonna hang out here for a couple seconds at that bottom position. And I'd want you to do maybe 3 to 4 of those in a row, and then come back over and then retest and see where you're at. See if you can improve that lat flexibility to go above your head a little bit more. Usually for me, if I just do like 2 to 3 of them, I can already get my hand that much higher above my head. So that's going to be the second thing to do. Now we're gonna put all those together and do one more upper body mobility exercise with a deep squat with rotation exercise. So you're just gonna squat down as deep as you can. You're gonna take one hand, grab the foot, and you're gonna rotate. Drop your shoulder, and go up as high as you can. Now this exercise is going to be working thoracic spine rotation. And rotation of the thoracic spine allows you to extend the thoracic spine as well, the way that the spine actually articulates and works together. So you're gonna be here, drop that shoulder, raise up as high as you can, and then back down. I do maybe a couple of these on both sides. Now, the very last thing we need to work on in order to get into a great overhead squat, ankle mobility, and here's why. In order to squat down and keep your chest upright, we need the knees to be able to translate forward. If I don't have enough knee over toe translation because of ankle mobility, it's going to lead my chest to have to compensate forward. And that's not a very good position if I want to hold that barbell overhead. So here's a very simple way that you can improve your ankle mobility in a very position specific way to get into a deep squat. Grab your plate, squat all the way down. Elbow on top of your knee, and you're gonna drive your knee over the toe. Now you're gonna feel a really good stretch in the back of your calf with this, and I want you to hold for about 10 seconds. And then come back and do your other side. Something like this, maybe 3 to 5 reps on each side. Obviously, we're in a very good position here with our chest. Stand back up, drop the plate, and then it's time to do your overhead squats. So again, in order to get that overhead squat, what are we thinking of? Thoracic spine, lats, hips, and ankles with the deep goblet squat. Then it's time to put that barbell on your back and get ready for some overhead squats. So hope you guys liked today's video on improving your overhead squat mobility so that you can get into better positions for overhead squats and snatches. Till next time, guys, happy squatting.
They say that energy flows where attention goes, so I pay no mind. Why waste my time with all these negative cats scratching? So caught up in their egos, these people have lost.